Hey there, welcome back to Schwermetallisch Reviews. Today I will show you an interview with Father Before Me. And what is to say about this music? It sounds a bit like Blink 182, but in an Anthrax mood. It's like, yeah, skater punk maybe, but with real shredding guitars and absolute thrash metal attitude to it. We had a great talk. I had a bad day. I was tired as fuck, so I was at a loss for words a few times. Please have mercy on my poor soul and don't shred me in the comments. Just lay back, have fun, and most of all, stay safe out there.
Having me.
This is Schwermetallisch, and yeah, you're watching me and him, and we will have a great talk not only about the action figures in the background, but also, of course, yeah, look at that, it's epic. So, yeah, you seem like a pretty young guy.
I guess. I don't know. I don't know. How old would you think I am?
25.
It's close enough. I'm actually. It's close enough. I, I'll be like. I'm like Gandalf. I'll never reveal my real age. It'll be a
You're always
mystery.
on time.
Yeah. I'm never on time. I'm never late. I'm here when I exactly precisely mean to be.
Yeah, I watched them in Germany, so I of course I don't know the translation exactly, but I remember he said he's never too late. He's always there when he intends to be,
Yeah. It's like
like that.
I think he says a wizard is never late nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to. But yeah, I actually just watched those the other night.
I have to copy that when someone yeah pisses me off next time because I'm late or too early.
It's wizard time, man. It's wizard time.
So you have a new single.
Yeah,
Is
I recorded a bunch of new tracks this summer. One thing I was able to do during quarantine.
Yeah, the first thing I wanted to ask is what does the name stand for?
So, Father Before Me is it's a mixture of things. At its heart, it's kind of a tribute to my father who passed away when I was young. He was an opera singer, and he was kind of a big influence to me from my whole music endeavors, I guess. But it's also a Star Wars reference when so Luke Skywalker is like, "Oh, I am a Jedi like my father before me," and I always used to say I'm a musician like my father before me. And I was thinking of band names, and I was just like trying to think of things that would sound cool, and I was like, how is that not taken? And I looked it up. I went online, looked everywhere, and yeah, no, I wasn't taken. I didn't see any other bands or nothing on Spotify. And there was like certain website I looked up and it just happened to not be taken. And no, I thought it sounded pretty cool and it meant a lot to me. And I was like, you know what? I'm a Star Wars fan. And, my dad meant a lot to me. And I was like, you know what? That's a cool name. Let me go with that.
Yeah, I know to a certain extent what you felt by while choosing that name, because my father passed away last year.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, man.
That was a fucking ridiculous timing. It was one day before I started relearning for a new job, and in the same week I had an appointment for moving in with my girlfriend,
Hmm.
and it was Sunday, and I was called and at 6 in the morning, and there was a nurse on the other side of the yeah um, phone Leitung. Wir sagen in Germany you have certain sentences that are differently structured. So
Yeah.
sometimes you try to to translate them, and they don't fit because it doesn't make sense in English, and that's sometimes that is really mind-boggling for the
Well, hey man,
translation.
you know more than one language. That's more than I know. I know English. That's about it.
Yeah. Um, yeah, the nurse told me that my father died, and it was like I was just awakened a few moments before, and that was that was a shitty day.
I
Yeah.
mean, I feel like there's no good day for you to get that news. No matter what, like you could be so prepared. Like my mom actually, both my parents have passed away. My mom 4 years before my dad, and you know, my mom had been sick for a very long time, and not that we were like relieved or glad to see her pass away, but it was kind of like she'd been sick for so long. It's kind of like you're even when you're glad to see someone like to stop suffering, you still are just like, damn, like this was not a good day to hear that. So like I remember hearing the phone call from my dad. I got a call at like it was like 5 in the morning, and I was just like, oh, like the same thing, you know, someone telling you like, hey, like he's gone, and you're just kind of like shit. And it's like you know, like it's there's no good way to hear that. There's no like,
No.
you know, you could be prepared your whole life, and it's just kind of like, well, shit, that sucks. Like, what the fuck am I supposed to do for the rest of the day? You know.
Although this is pretty destructive, I think drinking always works best.
Yeah, smoking was was my vice. I went and smoked a shitload of weed. I was just like, oh fuck, man.
I can understand that notion too, but to my yeah, to my embarrassment, I have to say I really like to smoke, but I cannot build. I'm not a builder.
Oh, you can't. What? You can't
No,
roll? You got to get
I
like a
cannot
little.
roll.
You got to get a little. That was funny because in high school, like no one knew how to roll, and everyone was like, Elijah, I need your help. Like, I'll smoke you out if you could roll this for me. And I was like, okay, like, but no, I mean, hey, you know, hey,
And I cannot roll cigarettes too. So that is it's just not part of my skill set.
that was actually how I got good at rolling. Was I had this one friend who would he would always use a we call it top. It's like bag tobacco, and he was always rolling cigarettes. And he was like, I'd ask him like, hey, can I have a cigarette? He's like, yeah, but you have to roll it. And I was just like, why? He's like, 'cause I'm not gonna sit here and roll your cigarettes for you. So I had to learn how to roll it myself. And eventually, you know, I mean, I remember the first few times it was like looked like Frankenstein or something. But,
So yeah, I was made aware of you and your music, and with the words, it's a bit of skate punk, and there's some shredding in there, and
yeah, it's a weird eclectic of different genres. I mean, my first EP is very I would say poppier, a little more on the punk side, but this new EP is definitely a little heavier, a little more fast. Um, I don't know if you've heard the newest the single yet, but the it's got really big arpeggios in the beginning. I've always been a punk guy, but my brother got me into like shredding and like all the different bands from like, you know, Blind Guardian, Children of Bodom, and then like different guitar players like Marty Freeman, Jason Becker. So I always wanted to incorporate that stuff into a lot of the punk music I listen to. And like as I progress, there are always heavier elements I want to bring to the table. But this EP is definitely heavier and, you know, a lot more progressive too. Like there's a
I hope I'm not unleashing a shitstorm from your side of the planet, but the first reaction to this was okay, punk, no, I hate punk, no, and then I thought, okay, but he's a pal of mine, and he's a buddy, and I said, okay, give it to me, I will check it out, and I gave it like a minute, and it was like, oh, okay, it's totally different to what I expected, and I'm not making you furious saying that, but
No, not at all,
the
man.
first
That's-
reaction to this and what I said to Keith was, that sounds like Blink 182 in an Anthrax attitude.
That's cool, man. I mean, that's I
Anthrax
appreciate
mood. I said mood. No, attitude is that's a thing with a sentence building. Yeah,
that. No, I
like,
appreciate it.
and I really have to say the guitars are sounding fucking great.
Thank you, thanks, man. It's kind of like I always grew up on like pop punk and stuff, but I always wanted to take away that. No, like I feel like I'm gonna piss a bunch of people off, but there's always been this whiny element to punk, especially in the vocals, and like that's one thing I try not to do. I try to like sing, like like actually like I don't know, like Bruce Dickinson's a big influence for me, and Freddie Mercury is a big influence for me. So I always try to like sing instead of just like, like where are you? Like I try not to like be. I don't know if you notice that in some of the vocal stuff, but it's not so much like I don't know. I try to like be more of a singer. Like I wouldn't say classically trained.
Definitely. I heard it and it was like, okay, that the vocals are kind of poppy,
Yeah.
but in a good way.
Yeah, like it's like I guess
So
I'll,
Blink 182 was not a comparison to hurt someone. It was like, oh, this
No.
is really uplifting, and the guitars really sound like, okay, that sounds like thrash metal, but really kind of clean. So that I dig that. It's cool.
I appreciate that, man. That's awesome. I'm always mixing up my styles and stuff. Like as I get like like the first EP is kind of like it's like a farewell to a lot of the older pop punk stuff I was into. There's some prog stuff in there, and then this newer one is kind of like taking what I've done and make it heavier. There's one track on there that's like, I wouldn't say super heavy, but it's like a lot of double bass, a lot of like harmonized guitars, and a lot of like like fast punk, fast metal riffs and drum beats, and then a lot of gang vocals. Like I'm a big fan of like hardcore, so there's a lot of those like big anthem. Like there's like 7 people in the studio. I mean, they just made it all be me, and it's just all because I'm the only guy in the band really. I recorded everything. I recorded the drums, the bass, and everything. So it's just like, all right, I record this part, and they'll like amplify it times like 7. I'd record the part 7 times, and then there's other tracks that are like a little more progressive, kind of like very Dream Theater-ish. Like punk, like pop punk Dream Theater, if that makes sense. Like
I have a question from a technical perspective. I have absolutely no idea how to mix, produce, or play any instrument. But when you multiply your vocals to have gang shouts,
yeah. So,
is it possible to do the same thing to your guitar so you sound like Thin Lizzy?
Yeah, actually, I mean, I'm only one guy, so when I go in there, there are some, like maybe not on the track you heard, but there's some other tracks where I layered the guitar at least 3 or 4 times, and there's like different harmonies going and stuff, and like I probably playing live, I would need like 3 guitar players, so it would be like an Iron Maiden kind of, similar type of thing. But yeah, it's very possible. I mean, with vocals, I mean, like I said, I record certain parts, like all vocals. The way my engineers work is they double the vocals and they mix it so it pans properly, so you hear it in both ears, but like evenly. And then the same with guitars, and for the most part, the only thing I think I do one time through is the solos. So like anytime you hear like the original solo in that song is just recorded once, and it's like one take through too. I always try to do like one take. There have been times where like, yeah, on the other EP I've recorded a solo and it's like, okay, like the beginning was really good, but the end was shit. But then this other take, the end was really good and the beginning, like vice versa or whatever. So like they'll piece it together, but on the actual solo for this song, it's all just like, it was like one take. I was just like, all right, I got to make sure this is really good. And You know.
So you obviously are a multi-instrumentalist, and I get why people do this. I get why it's in parts less frustrating as working with bandmates, but I imagine, as I know stuff I do, processes I manage. It's like, how often are you frustrated with yourself?
All the time. All the
It's
fucking
like,
time, dude.
oh, you motherfucker. Oh, that's me. Okay. Yeah.
Like some of the toughest part is so the recording studio I went to, normally like I've been playing guitar since I don't know, like I want to say freshman year of high school, a little bit before then. And I've always tried to be in bands, and I was in a band for about 8 years, and it was like my baby. It was like the band I pretty much dropped out of high school to do, and whenever I recorded with that band, um, I'd go in for a day, record my parts, come back home. You know, same with everybody. We'd go in one day, go in one weekend, record, come back home. This is the first time, and they did it twice this way. So like the first time I went, they were like, "Hey, like it was far enough away that we couldn't just come in and go home. It was like 3 hours away from me, but they're like, we want you to come live at the studio." And I was just like, what? Like that's cool, but like I've never been away from home to record for that long. So I would go away for 5 days, and the original studio had a hotel inside the studio. So I was literally staying like, yeah, like 10 feet away from the control room. So it was kind of cool to be there and live there for 5 days. But the hardest part is like you wake up, you have your coffee, you know, smoke a cigarette or just like hang out, and you start recording at like 10 in the morning, you know, sometimes like 10:30 depending, and you're just going the whole day. Like normally you're used to like, okay, you know, here are my parts. Okay. Okay, bye guys. Or not even bye, just like you go sit down or go relax, but the hardest part for me was the first 2 days I had to do drums. So I'd do a scratch track, record like the basic like, you know, reference guitar, and then I'd do drums for about like 2 days. And by the end of that drum, I'd have like these blisters all over my fingers because I'm not like I would say out of all the instruments, drumming I had the least experience drumming. But guitar is like my main instrument. So like the next few days going to guitar, I'd have these band-aids on my fingers, and it would kind of like mess with my playing. So I'd have to like try and improvise a way around that, you know, that could still play. It would make it difficult because you're used to having like a little break here and there, or like a few hours. Like, oh, I'm gonna go grab some food. You guys record. I'll be back. But it's like no, like you know, I'm always in there just recording the whole time, and it's just kind of like it's cool because you know you feel like you're doing something good. You're like, oh yeah, I'm working hard. Like yeah, man, like I'm working hard. But it's just like you know, it can be kind of daunting to like have to sit there the whole 10-hour day and record everything yourself. It makes writing easier, but at the same time, you kind of want a second pair of ears to listen to your music. Be like, oh, you know, actually, like, oh, I like that vocal part you did there, but you should try this instead. Or like, oh, I like that bridge, but like maybe we should put that later or something. Which is the cool part about working with like producers. Like the guys I go and record with, they have like some of the best, you know, they have like they have like a big name in their industry or their scene and stuff. So it's nice to have them there to kind of, I wouldn't say like, I guess you could call it like coaching. You know, it's kind of like having a Gandalf or like an Obi-Wan there with you to kind of like guide you. Like, hey, like don't do that. Do this instead. You know, or like sometimes you can be like, no, I want to do this, and it's like okay, it ends up working. So it's not just me. Like, yeah, I'm recording everything and I'm there, but it's kind of nice to always have a second pair of ears. But you know, at the end of the day, like you know, when you're paying money to go record, you do have the final say. So it's kind of like you know, it's a lot of balance, you know. But you know,
Yeah, and money is the point. Yeah, where the timing comes in. Huh? It's like, yeah, I would like to do a break. I would like to eat something. I would like
yeah,
to just chill out for a moment. And it's like, no, the clock is ticking, and every minute is money.
yeah,
And it feels too much like real work.
yeah. I mean, it totally can. I'd much rather do this as real work than like any other job.
Yeah, I'd love to do that too, but I don't play any instrument, and
That'd be super cool. I mean,
I'm not a Freddie Mercury, so okay, this planet has enough good vocalists. Maybe a mediocre one could work.
yeah, yeah. I mean, hey, man, I'm here.
No, you have a good, interesting voice, and I just listened to the vocals of the EP, but I found it very interesting to have the different styles contradicting each other. It was like, okay, that's totally 80s Anthrax, but with a clean production, and on the
Yeah.
other side you have these clean and rather soft vocals, and it was like, okay, that's different, and different is not always good, but this is good different.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that.
I listen to a lot bands that are different, that are not the good kind of different.
I mean, I feel like music's all subjective anyway. I mean, like I could find, if I really went out of my way, I could find a million people that hate my music and think I should die. And if I go out of my way, I could find a million people that think I'm like the best band they've ever heard. And then you can go find a million people who are like, that's cool. Like, like that's the crazy thing with like music is there's always someone out there that's either gonna hate it or love it, So
That's a strange kind of part about music too. It's like I sometimes really think, okay, this is shit. It's like it's an embarrassment and it's a waste of my time, and I don't know how cocky you can be to say, hey, listen to my music, and that sounds like this. You can't play guitar. I can't hear the bass. The drums sound like they're from the computer, and your vocals are shitty, and there really are people who say, yeah, this is me, and I think it's fantastic, and here.
I mean, I always give someone credit. I mean, there are some times, yeah, I guess. I mean, it's funny. I have some weird opinions about metal. Like, it's weird. Like, like with my style background and like, I mean, maybe if someone has like a trained ear, you might be able to pick some of this up. But I mean, like, I'm the type of person that like, I can go and listen to like At the Gates and like, Burzum and like, Blind Guardian. But then I can go listen to like opera and stuff, and then I can go listen to like ska and pop punk. Like I have such a wide variety of like it's funny. Like I could be wearing like like black metal makeup and then go listen to like a Blink-182 record. Like I don't know. I've been exposed to so much different music. It's crazy. Like some of it I still don't. There's a lot of the popular punky stuff. Like I don't think I've listened to a Blink-182 record since like the 90s. So like a lot of that is like I don't think I could listen to it. Like any of their new stuff, I'm just kind of like I'm okay. I have the stuff I liked when I was a kid, but and then the same with metal. Like I'm one of the very few people where I can't stand Metallica. Like I love Megadeth though. Megadeth. Are you wearing a Metallica shirt? No. No,
Yes.
I don't suck or anything. I don't know. There's something about Metallica. I mean, like their first album or two, yeah, it's awesome. But like I don't know, there's something about Metallica. I never got the hype. I'm like, I guess it's lots.
It's the first four records. They did a lot of
They did a lot of stealing from Dave Mustaine is what they did. No, I'm joking.
yeah, maybe some bits of that too. They stole a lot of new wave of British heavy metal stuff too.
I mean,
But,
I would just say borrow. Like one guy always said this to me. He was like this 60-year-old little like guitar player guy. He says, "Everything has been done before. No matter what you do, it's been done before. It's just a matter of how obvious it is." And I was just like, "That's kind of cool. Like I like that. Just don't make it obvious, and you're good.
And it's a combination. It's a combinations you choose of stuff that has been done before and how you arrange it. Of course, there's not one single riff that has not been played.
Yeah, I mean Tony Iommi did that for us, and even before him, like if you go back to like, I mean, some of the classical music, like so are you Are you familiar with that Star Wars band that plays like the Star Wars metal and they like dress up? They're called like
No.
Galactic Empire. So like they're really big here. They're called Galactic Empire, and they're like they do like the Imperial March and like all the Star Wars songs, but it's like metal and like heavy. And it's funny because the guys I record with happen to be in this band. You know, it's total coincidence that they're the Star Wars guys because like I'm a big Star Wars fan, and I just happened to listen to their recordings that they've done for my friends and stuff. I was like, oh, I like this mix. I like I like the way they record. And but like when I was talking to them about like arranging those songs, like they literally take the John Williams music and just add distortion to it. But like John Williams was playing like technical metal and didn't even know it. Like some of these like old classical dudes, like the way it's positioned and stuff, it's like it's metal. It's just played on like a violin or played on like a like a keyboard or a French horn or something, But
Yeah, that's of course you know the movie Frozen.
yeah, with that song that has killed everyone's ears over the last like 5 years.
And there's a really great version of Let It Go, a heavy metal version, a power metal version of a band called Trick or Treat.
I don't
They
know if
are
I've heard that
from
version.
Italy, I think, and really you sit there listening to this and you think, okay, that sounds arranged like that with this distortion and the electric guitars. It sounds like Blind Guardian wrote that fucking thing,
Yeah.
and it's really great. Yeah, I really like that. I listened to it, I don't know, 1,000 times or maybe.
That's kind of like have you ever heard the Children of Bodom version of Oops, I Did It Again?
I think I listened to that, but it's I don't like those funny covers. It's mostly now.
I mean, it was a funny cover, but like I think the only reason I know the lyrics to that song are because of that version, and it's like the solo they do and everything. Apparently the reason they even did it was like Warman, their keyboard player. Apparently one of their producers also produced Britney Spears or something. I don't know the whole story if it's true or not, but that was the story I heard, and that's why they did it. But check it out if you ever get some time. Like there's some, it's funny, but it's also like wow, this is actually like like it's kind of like with the Let It Go thing. If you arrange something well enough, like you could make it sound like you can make it sound really dope and stuff.
Yes, I never was a big fan of Children of Bottom. Because I'm not a fan of extreme metal.
Oh, is it like the screams and stuff? Kind of. You're more into like vocally, like Blind Guardian, Demons and Wizards type of stuff.
Yeah.
No, me too.
More like US metal, power metal, epic, doom, thrash, stuff like that. But recently, I'm warming. I'm warming up to listening to extremer kinds, styles of metal, and even found a Swedish death metal band I really like. They're called Leak, Lik.
No, I've never heard of them.
It's Swedish for corpse,
Oh wow, that's dark.
and they are pretty melodic and groovy. Okay, the
Makes me
vocalist
think of Opeth.
is evil, but I dig it.
Are you an Opeth fan at all?
Nope.
They're one of those bands. I like their older stuff too. Every now and then they put out some really good newer albums and stuff. But it's funny because they stopped doing the growl, and someone had like the Shrek meme where like the little kid. It's like this little fat kid. I forget what he says in the Shrek movie, but it's a picture of him, and he's like, "Do the growl," because like apparently Mikhail has stopped growling in his songs or something like that. So it's like that's the other thing with like certain genres. Like you change one little note, people get so pissed off, and it's just like,
Oh yeah.
That's why Blind Guardian's a band I feel that have always kind of, for the most part, they've always kind of like had somewhat of like the same like style of music. I mean, they change a little bit from time to time, but like it's not like In Flames. Like I feel like In Flames just kind of like they went from like Jester's Race, and then now they're playing like what is considered pop music from where they're from, which is weird to think about, you know. But I don't know.
So, musically, what are your future plans with Father Before Me?
Well, like I said, I'm always experimenting and trying to do new styles. Like I had this premise to do 3 EPs to kind of get everything jump started. First one is like very, you know, kind of like a callback to like my earlier days of music with like the punk and like that stuff. The second album is a lot heavier, a little more involved. This third EP actually is going to be, I wouldn't say softer, but more progressive and more proggy, but also heavier at the same time. So like a lot of different time signatures, like and a lot more clean, like a lot more jazz influences, but like with the metal and the punk stuff. So it's like you have these weird time signatures that don't feel weird. It's not like you feel like you're hiccuping, like you're like like it's still secular, and it's still going, and you can groove to it. And then like after I put out that EP, I'll have these 3 EPs of like 3 different eras of like this type of music I like to do, and then I hope to do a full from there to start doing like full LPs. And I somehow want to blend all these styles together to make like one style. Like I'm always trying to improve on my vocals and you know, hit higher notes, you know, make sure I get better as a vocalist, better as a guitar player. Like, you know, I'm trying to find my sound, I guess, you know, and I want to, you know, as someone, like I said, like I can go from like, you know, death metal to like Death Cab for Cutie. Like I want to be able to have someone like you and then have someone that's like skateboarding in the parking lot. Like I want you both to be able to enjoy my music. Like, you know, that was the one thing like growing up for me was like all my friends were like death metal kids, but then all my other friends were like ska and like emo kids. So it was kind of like we all hung out together, but you know, we always argued over certain music. So like I'd like to be able to eventually bridge that gap and just be a band that like anyone can enjoy, you know what I mean? And not necessarily be like, oh, you suck. Like, yeah. Yeah.
I remember the first time I heard ska music was when me and my brother were playing Tony Hawk Part 1 on
Yeah.
PlayStation 1. That was long ago. That was, I don't know, the track was named
Was it
Superman.
Yeah. Goldfinger.
Yeah.
So actually, I think that's really popular in Germany too. Like it was popular everywhere, man. That song was just like everywhere.
It's a cool tune. Yeah, it's a good song. Uplifting, poppy.
It's funny because a lot of ska music is really depressing. It's kind of like the music's like, hey, but the lyrics are like, they're really morbid sometimes. Like I wouldn't know about, not really that song so much, but it's a weird kind of like, it's a thing in ska music where it's kind of like, it's like, yeah, life sucks, but like I have a horn, like, and I have, you know, like, yeah. It's kind of like, it's like riding to your doom with like happy music. Like it's almost really in a way.
Doom music is always an interesting genre for me, because even this small subgenre has so many different styles and approaches. Funeral Doom, for instance, like at first you think, oh, okay, that's sounding like a good Doom band. Yeah, vocals are nice, and one moment later he's just screaming like hell, and it's really confusing sometimes. If you get this music sent to you by your boss, and it's like, yeah, you like Doom, here, do this. And yeah, okay, that is not the kind of Doom I like. Okay, thank you.
I always confuse Doom metal with like stoner metal. Like I feel like they're kind of there's a Venn diagram there. Like there's a band I'm really into. Like I guess doom metal would be like really heavy, like Black Sabbath kind of stuff, like their darker stuff, I guess you could say, you know. But then I consider that like stoner metal almost. Have you heard of Red Fang?
Yes.
I feel like I feel like I almost they be classified as like doom metal, or are they still a little?
I think Red Fang is more the stoner.
Yeah, okay. I was confused doom metal and stoner metal because I feel like they're both very down tempo, and like the dark melodies are always there, but I feel like doom is a little darker in that sense.
More morbid.
Yeah, a little bit more. It's like it's almost like if you gave like all the black metal musicians like a bag of weed and like, here, smoke this, and they're just like, all right, we're gonna stop playing really fast and just play like slow and morbid and stuff.
Yeah, stoner and doom are really there's a border between those two genres, and it's really, I think it's really thin. And if I get confused as to what I'm listening to, it's always like, does this taste like desert?
Does it taste like desert? Or does it taste like Fruity Pebbles? Like,
yeah, oh no, if you're smelling, if it smells like a chapel, it's doom, and if it feels like you're standing in the sun and the vultures are coming for you, it's most definitely stoner metal or stoner rock. Yeah, but I really think there are bands where it's really difficult to tell what they play.
but that's like that's something I really like is like I like when new music comes out that's like completely different. Like you have bands like Animals as Leaders who are doing this really progressive like kind of new metal, not new metal, but like new metal, like NEW, not NU metal. And then, you know, you have bands like, I mean, take Dragon Force, for example. I mean, they're kind of a new power metal, but at the same time, like, I mean, I feel like it's nothing that Iron Maiden didn't kind of already start off with, or, you know, like, I don't know, like, you know, some of it's very Blind Guardian in that sense too, you know, like, I feel like you have the two types of power metal in that sense. Like, you have like the really like high pitch, like Dragons and Fairies, and then you have like Blind Guardian where it's like, we're gonna go fuck some orcs up kind of shit, like, you know, because his voice is very, it's not like really high, although he's hitting high notes. It's very like, it's very beefy. It's got like, you know, like he sounds like he you know, he's gonna kill someone, not like, you know.
Yeah, Hansi has more. It's more like
More balls to his vocals,
more
I guess.
power. Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
It's a bit brutal what he does to his pipes.
Yeah.
Sometimes. If you like high pitched vocals, then you should check out Witch Hazel.
I feel like I've heard of them before. I don't know. It sounds a lot of that's the thing with power metal band names. A lot of them are very similar. Like,
it's Christian folk power metal, I think, but the lyrics are they sound so great that you don't care about what they sing about.
yeah, I never got the, you know, the premise of like identifying with a certain like religion in your music. It's kind of like why does that need to be identified with your music? It's like I'm not Christian, and I'm not Christian. I'm not religious, and I'm not religious. I'm kind of like in the middle. My religion is just like, don't be a dick. Like, that's kind of like, but like I feel like a lot of these bands, they'll be like, you know, some people are genuine about it, but like a lot of people, I feel like they're trying to sell you their religion through their music, and it's kind of like don't do that, man. Like we get it. You're a Christian. I have the utmost respect for you and all that, but like I've seen it. Like, people try to like sell you stuff through their, like, you know, like I mean, I don't know. It's just, it's something that's always like not like bothered me. It's just kind of like it's like you don't hear about Jewish metal or like Muslim metal. You know what I mean? Like, I've never heard that term, and like I'm sure there's hundreds of bands. They don't identify as that. It's almost like the I don't know. It's weird. I think it's a weird thing to put in front of your name. You know, like oh, we're Christian metal. It's like, okay, like I get that. Like that's great that you have a religion and stuff, but like I don't know.
No, I can't get the idea out of my head of a black metal band singing Yiddish.
Oh my
It's
god.
like, we're Mazel Tov! Hail!
Like I don't know. Like instead of, would they still burn churches?
Yeah, Jewish black metal.
Oh my god, Jewish black metal. That's insane. I can't. I don't even know what to think about that.
Rock black.
Like, what's the
Yeah.
weirdest genre? You know, I feel like reggae black metal.
Or ska black metal. Black
like
metal with horns.
Yeah, right. Oh well, you know, the one I think of like Demu when I think of like horns with black metal. I mean, I don't know if they're like strict black metal, but Demu Borgir, they have that one song like Prophecies of the Great. That one song, I forget. It's got horns and stuff in it. I don't think people realize it's there, but it's like the organ guy doing it. But
Okay.
it sounds like John Williams playing in the black metal band almost.
Yeah, I always thought it would be fucking great to have a classic doom metal band, an epic doom metal band, only singing about Masters of the Universe.
Huh? Like scientifically, like space and stuff, or just like
No, really a doom metal band singing about He-Man.
oh that like Skeletor like.
That would be so fucking great.
Oh, it's funny. I used to be a huge He-Man fan when I was a kid. That's actually how I
Yeah.
got into Star Wars, because like the little action figure of Luke Skywalker, it's like it looks like He-Man. Like I want it. Like
Yeah, we had the Kenner series as we were kids. The first ones.
the first one's from the 80s, right? That we're
Yeah,
talking
the
about.
really old stuff.
I have
yeah.
a few of those. I grew up with the I don't know if you can see it. I grew up with like the red box. Those were the ones that like I have all of them for no reason at all other than simple enjoyment. But I have a bunch of the 80s ones too, but I don't know. Star Wars has poisoned my life.
Those were the times when kids were still playing with action figures and Barbie and He-Man and Star Wars were a thing, not video games and handies. I think those times were a bit better, maybe.
It's funny. I don't play with them anymore, but I constantly am just like, wait, I gotta fix it. I gotta fix it. Like, you know.
Yeah, I really love those. My mother threw them away someday.
Yeah, I've
Because-
been there too, man. I've had a lot of my stuff thrown out. We used to have like I was a big Ninja Turtle fan too. I used to love Ninja Turtles. Used to have like all these different figures and stuff. So, I mean, like Ninja Turtles, Transformers. It helped having like an older brother who like I'm actually the youngest of three, and I have two older brothers who were just like a lot of the stuff that came to me was passed down. So it was kind of like, oh, like I shouldn't know about this, but like I do know about it because like, you know, I had it when I was like 2 years old or 3 years old and got to play with it and stuff. But you know, I would say toys were better in the 80s and the early 90s. That was like a really big time for like toys, I'd say. That's funny because that was when toys were dying off and people were trying to figure out like, all right, what's going on with all this stuff? You know, especially because Star Wars fell off in the late 80s. People were like, oh, Star Wars, what's that? Like all the toys like were in the like 99-cent bin and stuff, and now they're worth like $99 each.
Yeah, everything comes and goes in waves, I think. So that's that. One final question were according to the music, to your band project. Do we have plans to play live?
Yeah, so I really, really, really want to play live. We actually, I was supposed to have, I had a couple things set up last year. I was supposed to go on tour, supposed to do like Europe, actually, Europe and America. Well, where I live in, the United States. And it kind of got held back because of COVID. But I do want to play live. But I'm being very careful about that. I know plenty of musicians who would play with me, and like if I was like, hey, I got this tour going on, like, you want to come play drums, or you want to come play guitar, or you want, come play bass. So there are plans to play live, but I kind of don't want to. I don't want to just do it for the sake of like, oh, because we haven't played live yet. Like, and I say we. It's such a habit of like being in a band. I always say we when I mean I. But there are definitely plans to play. I don't know about anything in 2021, but hopefully, if the earliest, maybe in like the fall or the winter of 2021, and probably just locally around in the States. But I am working on like the good thing about having all this music pre-set up is I'm building a fan base as I go. Like I have fans in Europe, I have fans in South America, I have fans in Asia. So and I haven't even played a show, so it's kind of nice to have all these people like hitting me up, being like, "Oh, come to Brazil," or come to Germany, come to the UK. So it's like I'm kind of building this audience, and my big plan would be is like after this next EP comes out, I would love to try to book like a tour out in Europe for like a 5-day tour or something. Like the middle of 2022 is probably where realistically this is probably all gonna happen. I mean, I would love to do it tomorrow, but yeah, there's 100% a plan to want to play music live and stuff. It's important. It's funny. I don't know if you've seen our album artwork. The one has a tree. It's like the city. Our graphic designer is actually from Germany. I don't know if you know a guy named Richard Gobel or Gobel. I don't know how it's spelled. It's funny. He did a few designs for like a fingerboard company. Like the little skateboard fingerboards, and I bought one, and I really liked the graphic, and I found this guy. I was like, hey, like, would you do a graphic for my band? And he's like, yeah, sure, why not? And he's been doing he did the last 2 EPs, and he's going to do the 3rd one for me. So it's kind of funny. He's kind of like a connection I have in Germany for like some shows and stuff. And then there's a company that's based out of Amsterdam. They're called Epic Merch Store, EMC. So like they sell my merch online, and they're like based out of Europe and stuff. But there's some other people. But I definitely, that's the one thing I'm like. I love the United States. It's awesome and stuff. It's also shit at the same time. But
yeah,
I would love to play. Yeah, especially lately. But I would love to go play Europe, like so much. Europe and Japan and like that whole. Just because I feel like, I don't know, like the music scene in United States is a little weird. It's very competitive, and not a lot of people. I don't know. I feel like some parts are not as supportive as you would think, and like I always hear people going out to like different countries, and like they have so much better of a response from like people out there. So it's like
I think in America it's. Yeah, I heard a lot about the competitive stuff and people fucking each other over and
it's really
lying and yeah.
Because that's sorry.
I think in Germany there's less of that. I don't know if I never heard of it in Germany. Let's say it that way, which doesn't mean it doesn't happen here.
Excuse me.
God bless you.
Salute. But no, yeah, it's funny because like, punk rock, like the whole punk rock scene of CBGBs and that whole thing was based off of bands helping each other and people working together, and the same with the LA scene with like, the LA Strip and stuff. All those bands helped each other out, and it's just like nowadays it's like I've seen bands where it's just like you'll go play a show your band will play, and then everyone leaves after, and then the final act has no one to watch them, and it's like, I don't know, like everyone's guilty of it at some point. Like, you know what I mean? I get you want to go out for a cigarette, you want to go get another drink, you know, but like, I feel like, I don't know, I feel like that's a really big pattern out here, is like people aren't really, you know, supportive of the other bands on the bill. It's kind of like, if you go see a band, you want to make sure you watch everybody, you know.
Yeah, like the
You never know.
trailers.
Sorry?
Like when you're in the cinema.
Yeah.
I always want to see every trailer.
Yeah. I guess it's like the same thing. Like, you don't just go for the movie, you want to go for the trailers too, you know. And not to diminish the other bands and say they're just trailers, but it's kind of like, you know, some of these trailers lead to be these really great movies. It's like some of these bands that, like, even though they have like a 20-minute slot, it's like some of these bands could be like your favorite band, you know what I mean? So,
of course. Yeah.
You know, not everyone wants to go see the headliner, but at the same time, like, you should just stay for everybody. Or like, some people will get there really late and only go see their friend that's headlining or something. It's like, you know, like, it's like walking in the middle of a movie. It's like, yeah, I don't need to see the beginning of the movie. I just want to see the part where we find out that this dude is that dude's father and that dude's this dude's sister. It's like, you know, it's like,
okay, I'm out. Yeah, that's disrespecting the bands.
No, 100%. And I mean, I feel like everyone's guilty of it. Everyone, once or twice in your life, it's happened. But it's like, I know people that have made like a habit of it. Like, they'll always show up late, they'll always leave early, or like, you know, and it's just, it's unfortunate. You know, I feel like everyone needs to make more of an effort to support each other, and just like, you know.
I have good reasons for always leaving early.
Sleep.
Sleep. No car.
That could, you know, like, that's understandable. But I mean, you know, like, if there's people who, like, you have a car and you don't need to go to sleep, like, you know.
Yeah, and it's like, if the gig is on a Sunday and you have to work on Monday, and you can get an hour of sleep more, or only 30 minutes, you will do that maybe.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's always the exception. I mean, like I said, everyone's guilty of it once in a while, and it's, you know, it's sometimes it's out of your control. Like, it was funny because in my old band, I always wanted to stay later. Like, we'd go play. I'd be like, dude, we gotta hang out. Let's play a show. And like, you know, some of my old band members, like, my ride would be with them. And I'd be like, damn, like, I don't want to have to, like, now have a ride home. So I would have to leave early sometimes. And it's just kind of like, you know, like, and it wasn't, you know, like, sometimes I'd get it, like, we got work in the morning and stuff, but like, sometimes it'd just be like, oh, we just want to go home and do nothing. It's like, dude, like, network, you know what I mean? Like, try and talk to these other bands. Like, you never know who you're going to meet. You never know if, like, I mean, some of them, my best friends in music are because are people I met randomly, you know, as a band. Like, one of my best friends who lives in New Jersey, their band, the band called When Thieves Are About, like, one of my best friends is the guitar player in that band, and, you know, I check them out just randomly, you know, and, you know, you never know who you end up becoming friends with, you know.
Yeah.
So it's definitely useful, you know. Don't ever try to put yourself above something, you know, like, oh, I'm too good for that. Like, no, like, you know.
Yeah, I know that. I was at a Symphony X gig a few years ago, and I was there with my brother, and he was like, okay, they're not playing my favorite songs, so I'm going to grab a beer and leave. I'm going to stand outside and smoke and drink my beer. And it was like, okay, he was 5 minutes gone, and they played his favorite song, and it was like, yeah, okay, go fuck yourself.
That sucks. I mean, I do understand him. Like, there's been a few times where I'll go see like a band I really like, and it's like, oh, they're not playing any of my favorite songs, but their whole set could be like songs I don't even know or like, but if they play at least one song I really like, it could be like the last song. It makes it worth it, you know. So
yeah, and now we know even better than before that. Yeah, I would prefer a shitty show with a shitty set list over no show any day at all.
Oh, especially now. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go to a shitty show. Yes, okay, of course. Yeah, okay, cool.
It's funny you say that because a lot any advice I give to other musicians and like even to myself, like there's going to be a boom in the music industry in the next eight to like 12 months. There's going to be this huge boom, and it's like whether your band doesn't have anybody coming out or whether you're the biggest band in the world, like when we're able to all play shows again, like if you play shows or if you do music or if you do something that involves people coming out, you have to be on top of it. This is like this whenever people are able to go out again, there's going to be like a renaissance of like people going out, and like people are going to be like, oh, what band's playing? Oh, I don't fucking care. Let's just go.
Yeah.
People are so hungry to get out there. And I feel like, you know, we have plenty of time to prepare for this. Like there's at least 12 months before this is going to happen. And, you know, hopefully we'll talk in like 12 months and I can be like, see, I told you. Like if you're in a band, try to plan for these next 12 months. And when the music is ready to go out, because people, whether they like you or have never heard of you, they're going to want to, there's going to be a big boom in the music industry in the next 12 months because people are going to be just so hungry for live music. They're not going to care. They're like, oh, this band I've never heard of, let's go. Like, oh, they got a T-shirt, okay, let's buy it. Like, it's going to be a huge boom, you know.
Yeah, as soon as me and my loved ones are vaccinated.
No, that and that's coming soon too. Like a lot of people, my girlfriend works in a hospital, so she's like on the list to get vaccinated soon. I don't know when I will. I'm like last on the list to get vaccinated. But you know, like, but the main thing is the more people that are getting, you know, vaccinated, it's good because it's going to slowly bring all these numbers down. And it's like, you know, you don't have to have every single person in the world vaccinated. Like if you get like a good 80% of them, you know, like again, I'm no scientist or doctor, but theoretically, you can assume that like it's not going to be bouncing around all the time, you know. So knock on wood, but
it will starve.
Yeah. A lot of people are really timid about this vaccine. I'm just like, dude, like I never took the flu shot for like 15 years. I was like, fuck that, I don't get the flu. And I got really sick about 2 years ago. So I like take my flu shot every year, and you know, like I feel like that's what this is going to be. It's going to be like a yearly flu shot. And it's like if I could take a shot, have a little card that says, "Hey, I took my shot," like, you know, like I don't know, people are making it seem like, "Oh, it's against our rights." Like,
oh yeah.
It's like, and I mean by people, I mean everyone in the United States pretty much. I don't know. People are making it seem like it's the most oppressive thing in the world. I'm like, you do realize, like, just look at the history book. There are way more oppressive things that have been done. I mean, no one's being put in cages and saying, take your vaccine. You know, no one's, I don't know. Watch 6 months down the line, people are being put in cages for not taking their vaccine.
Yeah, it's not like this is slavery.
Yeah, like, you know, it's not like, you know, I mean, I'm like, yeah, there's a systematic version of it and all that, but that's another topic. But it's just like there are worse. Like it's like everyone's like, oh, they're taking my rights away. Like, no, dude, you're being asked to stay home, eat junk food, and watch your favorite movies. Like, it's not like you're being asked to like, you know, like, oh, you like, fuck you, like, you know, like I think we got it pretty easy just to stay home, and I feel like that's the big issue. Like a lot of people here are like treating it like, oh, like the numbers are going down, like let's go out and party and do whatever we want. Like, you know what I mean? Like I get it. Like I you want to go to the grocery store, that's cool. You want to go get your favorite takeout, that's fine, but don't go home with it. Like I'm in New York City, so I see all these outdoor dining, and I'm just like, what are you doing? Like, it is 30 degrees Fahrenheit, which is like, I don't know, like 0 degrees Celsius, or I don't know the whatever. I don't know yeah, it's cold. You shouldn't be outside. Like, I don't even want to go smoke a cigarette outside in this weather. And like people are sitting outside like with their jackets, and they're like, "Oh, isn't this great? Like, it's like, let's have more wine." Like dude,
freedom.
Yeah, like, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'Cause, like,
we are the same. That's a big problem. We were way ahead at the beginning, and everything was fine. Our numbers were great, and then there were so many people just doing what they wanted and being ignorant of the rules. And now we're at a bad place too. And
yeah.
this totally sucks. I just want to go out and drink a beer and eat outside and go to a concert, but that's far away.
Yeah, I mean it's not as far as away. It's not that far away. I feel like we're closer to it than we're not. It's hard to believe this has been a year almost, dude. No, it has been. I remember this time last year, my girlfriend and I were like, we were in the Wendy's and we saw this on TV and we're like, virus, like, you know, we chuckled a little bit at it, like, wow, this is crazy, like, because we were just like, oh, it's, you know, like, what are the odds of it coming here and fucking up our whole economy and everybody in it and stuff, and it's just like, oh, it's like, it's funny, it's like, did you ever see that movie Bird Box?
No.
So without spoiling too much, like, you can't look at the evil thing, so it's kind of like, if you look at it, like, it kills you somehow. And like, everyone, when this movie came out, like, people were like, why are you going outside? That thing is out there, why are you going outside? You're fucking stupid, like, I would never do this. And it's just funny, it's like, if that actually happened, everyone would die. Like, because everyone's like, just like, oh no, like, this shit ain't real, like, we're gonna go outside and fucking do what we want, you know. So
Yeah, like a quiet place.
yeah, like, kind of like, yeah, exactly, like, I've never seen that, but like, I know exactly, like, people
this movie is really absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, no, I
You
hear
have to.
I'll probably watch it tonight now that you mentioned it. And then they got the second one coming out, but apparently it's really fucked up. And I kind of know how it ends based on seeing the trailer for the new one. But other than that, yeah, it's kind of like, that's kind of like the games I'd play with myself as a kid. Like I gotta be really quiet when I go into my house, or like I gotta go really quiet when I go up the stairs, and I can't hit the cracks and make the stairs creak or something. Like, you know, it's just kind of, it's, you know, it's kind of like the unknown. Like, it's kind of like, you know.
I think you will dig this. It's a really great movie, and it's like when you watch it the first time, you catch yourself trying to be really silent while breathing.
Like, while watching it, like,
yeah, exactly. It's really good.
oh, that's funny.
So I have to wrap this up
Yeah, no,
because
dude. Oh man, this has been awesome.
it's
Man.
way past my I have to eat time.
No, oh man, I'm so sorry.
No problem. As always do for situations for that like that. We're both guilty.
Yeah.
I
mean, I'm just waking up. Like,
so I'm yeah. It was nice to talk to you, and
likewise, man.
I'm looking forward to the next EP, and
Nice,
I will check this out even more and listen through it. Not just checking it out, but listen through it. You got me through it with explaining what you're doing, so I have to check this out again.
Well, hey man, I could email you, and I could send you the because, like, this new EP, the first single I got is this one coming out, when Lambs Become Lions, and Until Lambs Become Lions, and then I have 3 more songs for this EP, and I'll send you all of them so you can listen to them and see what you think.
Yeah, cool, thanks.
I mean, don't put them anywhere; they're not out yet, so
No.
it's like a like pre-screen, you know, get the VIP package.
Nice. Okay, so have a nice evening, and
Thank you so
I
much,
see
man.
in the reflection that that's your girlfriend, I think.
Yeah, she's chilling on her table. We got
Nice
our
evening to her too.
yeah. No, I'll tell her you said what up. We both have our desks here, so we're both like, I think she's playing video games actually. I don't even, or she's on her computer doing something. I don't know. And then on. Well, my friend wants to say bye too. Oh, come here. Say bye. Say bye. Say bye to the people. Yeah. All right, dude. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure and an honor to be on your your stuff, and thank you again.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Maybe next time I'm a bit more up to the task. Today I was a bit, I don't know, foggy in the head, and
No, it happens.
yeah, but it's really shitty if you do an interview in a different language and always forget what you want to say and forget what the words you have to translate in your head, and it's sometimes it's just not the day for this.
No, I feel you. I mean, it's my fault. I should be fluent in German.
Yeah, next time. Next
Next
time.
time.
Okay. Have a
All
nice
right.
evening.
Dude, take care, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, stay safe.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.